Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim.
Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhasa. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhasa. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhasa. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, Tudiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Tudiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Tudiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, Tadiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Tadiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Tadiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Kanditila Panadipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Adinnadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Kamesu Mittesara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Surameraya Majjapama Tattana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Leja.
Thank you, Bande.
So, we would start our session. From last few Sundays, we are trying to learn the first sermon of Buddha who gave to the 5 Parivrajakas at Sarnath. Second, the righteousness, and the third, the virtues, the path of virtue. So these 3 things, he explained them in detail and we were able to understand it accordingly. Now, to conclude with this sermon, what Buddha is trying to understand whether the 5 Parivrajakas understood his teachings or not, what he had told them. So he concludes by again repeating all the things in short and seeking answers from them. So here he starts with asking questions to them. He asked the first question, is not personal purity the foundation of good in the world? Means one person should have that purity in the mind, in the life, and is that not the foundation to become a good person in the world? And all the Parivrajakas says yes. That means they agree that everyone has to be pure in the life with pure mind. The second question he asked, is not personal purity undermined by covetousness, passion, ignorance, the destruction of life, theft, adultery and lying? Means he asked, what are the all wrong things in the life? Are they, can we throw them out, or we come out of all the defilements by becoming a pure through by mind, having a pure personality? They say yes. Is it not necessary for personal purity to build up sufficient strength of character so that this evil should be kept under control? Now here, regarding the purity, again Buddha talks that it builds up the good character, a good personality, and make you strong. It is the strength of character, and this character, when developed very well, then all the evils in the life will be under control. Means we won't be doing any evil, any wrong thing. So this Buddha is asking this to the Parivrajakas, and they say yes. Obviously, this is question for us too. All these questions we also have to understand, and the answer should be in affirmative, so that what the Parivrajakas said in the last, we would also be able to say the same thing. How can a man be an instrument of good if he has no personal purity in him? Again, another question Buddha asked, how can you become a carrier? Like instrument means like you're carrying the good personality, unless and until you are pure. Your personal purity, obviously we know that personal purity, what Buddha is talking here is about the precepts, the 5 precepts. This purity has to be within you, so that when you walk on your path, you become an instrument or the carrier for the others to follow you, like that. So you have to be a good person, you have to be a good carrier. And they replied, it is as thou sayest. Means they also agreed this. Now the next question again he asked. This chapter is whole on the questions he want to make clear whether they understood and they are accepting his theory or not. Now again he says, again, why do men not mind enslaving or dominating others? Obviously, if we are enslaving or dominating others, we want others to be under ourselves without giving them any freedom. You should mind it. You should feel bad about it. And therefore Buddha says, why do men don't mind it? They should mind it, especially. And they should not allow, one should not allow oneself to enslave others or to dominate others. Why do men not mind making the life of others unhappy? So here again, we should mind if others are not happy. You should feel it. You should feel bad about it. Why others are unhappy because of me? I should mind it. And every person should mind it, that why others are feeling unhappy because of me. Is it not because men are not righteous in their conduct towards one another? Obviously, he says again that it is because they don't have the righteousness in their life, in their behavior, in their conduct towards another, and they answered in the affirmative. Means those who are not righteous, those who are not following the eightfold path. Righteous means we were talking about the eightfold path. So this one who are not following the eightfold path, they don't, their conduct is not good towards others. The next is asked again, will not the practice of the Ashtangic Marga, the path of right view, right aim, right speech, right livelihood, right means, right mindfulness, right perseverance, and right contemplation, in short, the path of righteousness, is followed by everyone, remove all injustice and inhumanity. See, what it says here? If one follows the eightfold path, obviously it will result in removing all the injustice and inhumanity for others and also for us, for all. There won't be any injustice. You won't be doing any injustice to others, and you will be following the path of humanity, not inhumanity. So, Parivrajakas also agree to this. Means they say, yes, a person has to follow the eightfold path, the Ashtangika Marg. And we should remove all the injustice and inhumanity, because it does not give you a right personality. Now, he talked on the life of purity, that is the following of precepts. He talked on the righteousness, that is the eightfold path, and how it is good for a person to becoming a good person and to live a good life with happiness and with justice. Now he comes to the third point, that is the path of virtue. It is all summing up like, so about the path of virtue he says, is not dana necessary to remove the suffering of the needy and the poor and to promote general good? Here he is talking about the dana. Giving something to others, those who are in need. Is it not good to give others, those who need it? Maybe because of that lacking, they are suffering. So if you are giving them something, you are removing their suffering. So it should be like, one should be always ready to give. Giving is called dana here because it is not asked. Dana is giving without asking. The other person to whom you are giving, they have not asked you, but you are giving it. That is dana. And you want to help others, help to remove the suffering or to free them from the suffering, or you want to fulfill their needs. Then it says, is not karuna necessary to be drawn to the relief of poverty and suffering, whatever it exists? This is again the karuna, the compassion. Without compassion, if you are helping, if you don't have any karuna, you won't be able to help others. This is again, the dana should be given with compassion. That is also one part here. Then it also removes the suffering whenever that kind of situations come in front of you. Is not nekamma necessary to selfless work. Always we want to do what we need. But if we do it for others, without gaining anything for ourselves, without thinking anything for our good, is it not necessary that we should do something instead of thinking only for ourselves, doing it for others? Is it not upekha necessary for sustain endeavor even though there is no personal gain? That upekha is also doing the efforts for the personal gain. Instead of doing it for the personal gain, doing it for the others. That is also for upekha, or not thinking that it's for me, I want that all the praise should be for others also. Is not love for men necessary? And they all say yes, love is necessary. But again, the next line comes. I go further and say, what Buddha is saying here, I go further and say, love is not enough. This thing we have to understand very clearly. Love is not enough. What is required is maitri, that is friendliness. Most of the people keep themselves within love, They say love is important, more important. But according to Buddha, maitri, friendliness is more important than love. Now he explains here. It is wider than love. Maitri is wider than love. It means fellowship not merely within human beings but with all living beings. Now here, what it is says that maitri is not within only human beings but with all living beings. It is not confined to human beings. But I have to say something here. Buddha's teachings are sometimes told to us in different way. What I say, doing maitri with living being is not enough. Maitri with human being is more important, because when we talk of giving maitri to other living beings, we forget human being. Like maybe you would be understanding what I want to say, that when we give love or maitri to animals as such, we always talk of giving maitri to animals. Most of the time we don't think whether they need it or not, because they are not able to tell you whether they are happy by your maitri, what you want to do with them. As we say, we are chaining a dog in our house. Does the dog require to be chained? If he would be able to speak, if a dog is able to speak, the dog will say, don't chain me, I want to live freely. I want freedom. So, taking care of that dog or any other animal, taking care according to your need is not maitri. We have to take care according to their need. To protect them, we chain them, we restrict their freedom. So this we do it with many animals, especially the pets. So we have to understand here when we come to the other living beings. Sometimes human beings are neglected when we are giving Maitri or taking care of the animals. A very hungry man is standing out somewhere in front of you, and you are feeding a dog. Yes, the dog also needs the food, but you should not avoid feeding it or giving the food to the hungry person too. So it's very minute thing we have to understand here, that giving Maitri and taking care is Maitri, I think so. Because Maitri is not thinking bad for others. We are thinking good for others. We think that they should be happy, they should be free, they should be peaceful. That is Maitri. And that Maitri should be given to all those who are near and us. So whether they are other living beings, when they are there, yes, surely we have to take care of them. We have to give Maitri to them. But we should not neglect human being. That is the most important thing which we have to take care of. Now in this world we are seeing that human beings are hurt, they are killed, they are discriminated, they are treated inhumanly, but the same person who are treating in this way to human being, they are very good to their pets, especially the cows, dogs, cats, and any other things. So, any other living beings. So, it is very necessary to keep the balance of between all the living beings and giving Maitri to them. I think I wanted to explain this here, so I extended my views towards you on this. So here Buddha asked them, is not such Maitri necessary? Means instead of love, Maitri is more necessary. What else can give to all living beings the same happiness which one seeks for one's own life? We have what we need that maybe other person is also in need. The other being, living being or human being, they are in need what you want. That is the happiness you want, maybe the others also need the happiness. If you want freedom, the others also need the freedom. You need care, the others also need the care. So such kind of Maitri, isn't it necessary? This is to keep the mind impartial, open to all. We should not follow the partiality. We should not have that kind of behavior with impartiality, with partiality, so that it should not turn or look like it is being discrimination. You are doing some discrimination towards others. It should be with affection for everyone and hatred for none. The word none is important. Okay? The hatred should be for none. No one. That is what the real Maitri is. No hatred for anyone, whoever it is. Is it not necessary? Buddha asked, and the Parivrajakas say, yes. Now, it comes to the another part of virtue. That is, the practice of virtue must however be accompanied by prajna. We call it prajna or wisdom. It is explained here with intelligence. Means whatever virtue like dana, maitri, shil, upekha, nekhamma, whatever we are doing, it all should be followed with prajna. This prajna is intelligence. Now he asks, is not prajna necessary? Now this question How to answer this? The Parivrajakas keep mum. Do no evil, think nothing that is evil, get his livelihood in no evil way, and say nothing that is evil or is likely to hurt anyone. This all should be with understanding. Means you should not think of evil. You should not live a life. Your livelihood should not be evil. You should not do any evil, or nothing evil you should do which can hurt others. Is very clear in this. The whole thing is depending, the virtue is depending on the purity too. That is, you don't have to do any wrong, no evil, so that others get hurt. And they say, yes, so it is. So now he explains the prajna again. But is doing good deeds blindly to be welcome? Yes, we are doing many good things, but without understanding. Blindly means without understanding, because others are doing, we are doing it. Because others say that it is good, we are doing it. So, is it good? Should we welcome this kind of deeds? And he only replies, no, this is not enough. Doing good things is not enough itself. Then what he says? The Buddha said to the Parivrajakas, if it was enough, said the Buddha to the Parivrajakas, then a tiny babe could be proclaimed to be always doing good. He talks about the children. He gives the examples of the children. Because children do not have any prajna. They do not have any intelligence. They are learning. They are in the process of learning. So Buddha gives them example and say, for as yet the babe does not know what a body means, much less will it do evil with its body beyond kicking about. Means it does not know what is act of the body. A child kicks, what would be the effect of it? The child does not know. So whether it is evil or not, that also doesn't know. It does not know what speech is. When a child speaks, most of the time you must have gone through, could have experienced it. When a child starts speaking, sometimes the child uses the words which are abusive, but it is good to hear, many people, they laugh at them. Oh, in such a way that child is speaking, even though it is bad word, which is not used commonly, it is not good to use commonly. Such kind of word if child use, we instead of scolding them, people laugh. They feel happy that the child is speaking, And sometimes, most of the times we can say, the people forget to stop that child saying that, oh, you should not use this kind of words. This is not good. Because the child doesn't know the meaning of that word, what he is speaking. So in that way, we are making the child understand that whatever he is speaking is right, because we are happy when he is speaking. So he says, even though a child speaks evil, he does not know what it is. He does not know by crying what will happen. Is it good to cry or not? So this is, much less will it say anything evil beyond crying. It does not know what thought is beyond crying with delight. He does not have any thought in his mind what is right and what is wrong. it does not know what livelihood is, much less will it get its life living in an evil way beyond sucking his mother. The child doesn't know how a livelihood is, because whatever the child wants, because it does not know, he doesn't care, he just wants it. You know, we can have the example like in a poor family. The family does not have milk to give it to the child. Mother is not having milk because the mother did not get good food to eat. So they are unable to give milk to the child. But the child is crying because they don't know that my parents are unable to provide me food. So keeps on crying and crying and crying. They want. They don't know from where it comes, but they want it. This is what it says, that the child, if the act, what the child is doing, whatever act, we feel very good. The act is good. We are happy by that act. But that act is done without any knowledge or intelligence. Not to talk of intelligence, but without any knowledge too. So Buddha is giving the example of that child. The path of virtue must therefore be subject to test of prajna, which is another name of understanding and intelligence. So what he says, whatever virtue you are doing, whether dana, upeka, nekamma, or whatever you are doing, even maitri, it should always be tested by prajna, that is, it should be done with proper understanding and intelligence. Without understanding and intelligence, if any act is done, it may be good, but it may not be worth doing it. There is also another reason why prajna paramita is so important and so necessary. He speaks further, the Buddha speaks further, saying that there is another reason why it is so much important. He explains, there must be dana, that is one paramita, that is one virtue. But without the prajna, dana may have a demoralizing effect. This is what we don't understand. We say giving dana is important. But you should understand why you are giving, in what way that dana be used by the person to whom you are giving. What the person wants, for livelihood for food you are giving it to fulfill the hunger of a person. Okay, the food dana, bhojan dana, we say, when we are giving it, it is just to fulfill the hunger. But people give dana without understanding that we are giving it to fill the hunger, we are giving it for gaining the merit. This is another part. We feel that we'll get punya by giving bhojan dana, and therefore most of the time they want to give bhojan dana on some auspicious day, and other days they forget to give it, especially to the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. If they call for bhojan dana, the other days they won't care. They think that it should be given on the auspicious days like Purnima or other days. Some celebrations are going on, some function is going in their house. They try to give it, and they say that if we give bhojan dana to the bhikkhus or bhikkhunis, they will get punya. But if they understand that they need this food to fill their hunger, they will give all the time. Means mostly Even though they may ask, have you got the food today or not? If no, please come to me. I am giving you the food. This is the thing we have to understand. While giving money we have to understand whether this money is used for the traveling or not, or for the medicine or not. We have to make sure, or if they are, whether they are used, because nowadays, sorry to, should I say here or not, but we got many videos saying that many bhikkhus, those who are in robes, whether they are real bhikkhus or not, but they are in robes, and because they are getting a lot of money through dana, they are using to drink liquor. They are found and the robes are taken off. So this kind of videos are also shared. We got to know many people who are misusing that money for other things which are not necessary or which are not good for a bhikkhu or bhikkhunis to do such kind of things. So this is also, therefore it is a demoralizing effect. This should not be demoralized. Another example I can give you, when we asked for the robes, we got to know that there are many robes bundles of robes in Buddhagaya, because people go and give the robes there. But that robes are kept in a room which are not used for many years by the people. So giving Chivardana is also demoralizing if it is not used by the bhikkhu or bhikkhunis. Most of the people give it the robes to the statue. I want to make you understand here. Does a statue of Buddha needs a chivara or a robe to be put on? Because any statue, whether we find it through the archaeological things, we find it there through the ground, we found many statues of Buddha. All the statue of Buddha, the robes are carved on the body of the Buddha. It is carved there. We can see that Buddha is in chivara. The clothes are seen in itself. Okay? If the statue is without carved chivara, then it is the statue of Mahavira. This has to be understood. But because it is the tradition of Vedic culture or Hindu culture, what we are seeing it now, the temples in the Hindu temples, they are making statue, putting clothes to the statue. They are washing them, giving them bath and making them wear the clothes. So this kind of thing they are doing with the Buddha statue too. And we know that because of this, many of the Buddha statues are being converted to other gods, and we don't know whether who they are really, whose this statue belongs is of. You know, the statue is of Buddha, but we don't know it is Buddha. So these are the things. If we start doing again what they have done by making the statue wrapped with their robes, again the Buddha statue won't be recognized. We cannot identify them. So we have to be very clear while giving the robes. Bhikkhu Bhikkhunis, if they have robes, it's not necessary to give robes to them always. My own example I would tell you. When I took the robe, I used to called by many people, and they used to ask me whether you need robe. I had two robes with me, So I said, no, I don't need robe. But because I am a bhikkhuni, I need a cloth to stitch my shirt. But no one was understanding this. What I needed was a shirt, a plain cloth by which I can stitch a cloth and wear it. Everyone was giving me, even though I used to tell them I don't need robe, I need a cloth to stitch my shirt, they were not giving it. 3 to 4 years I faced this problem. Then what to do? People, they think that giving chivara is not for the bhikkhu or bhikkhuni needs to protect the body. But they are giving chivardana by saying that by giving chivardana, they are gaining merit. It's punya for them. So they give chivara. So understand, when a person is given robe, they are given the diksha as a pabajja, the first ordination. That time, the person who has been given is told that you are wearing the chivara to protect yourself from the heat, from the cold, from the insects. Robes is to protect the body. But here, people are not giving the chivara to protect the body, but they are giving it to gain merit. This is again the not real understanding. Giving without understanding, without intelligence, all type of dana, then it is not worth. Anyway, so these are some examples I wanted to give. Now the next one, there must be karuna. But without prajna, karuna may end in supporting evil. I think I gave this example earlier too, what Baba Sahib did. Baba Sahib specially talk on the karuna, but he did not talk on sympathy. If without proper understanding you are doing karuna with others, it becomes sympathy. Like giving something with, oh, he's troubling me, the beggar is troubling me, oh, we should give something. It's not karuna. You want to get rid of that person who is asking you something. The karuna is that, the compassion is that something should come in your mind that, oh, that person is in need. I should give something to that person. It should be very pure mind you should give. You should not give it to get rid of that person. Or whatever you are giving, you should think you're not giving it to gain merit. You are giving it to fulfill the need of that person. Maybe something will happen good to that person with whom you are doing compassion. So this proper understanding and intelligence is needed while doing karuna. That is also very much important. And here he says, yes, obviously it is wisdom. We know it as wisdom. The prajna is wisdom. Every act of parmita must be tested by prajna parmita, which is another name of wisdom. So it plays a very important role while following all the virtues, what we have, the 10 virtues. Prajna is most important because it should be connected with all the virtues what we are doing in our life, whatever act we are doing in our life. I premise that there must be knowledge and consciousness of what wrong conduct is. how it arises. The knowledge, he talks about knowledge here. And knowledge and consciousness. While taking knowledge, while gaining knowledge, you should be very much conscious enough to understand what knowledge you are getting it. Because this will make you understand whether the knowledge which I am gaining is right or wrong. Your mind should be very sharp enough, very conscious enough to understand this. There must be knowledge and consciousness of what is right conduct and wrong conduct. Therefore it is said, knowledge is of two types. One knowledge is taking you towards the wrong path. Another knowledge is taking you towards the right path. About it in 1924, when he gave that slogan, we can say, or the motto of Bahujan Hitkarini Sabha, where he says, educate, agitate and organize. That time, about education, what Baba Sahib says is, he says, education is like a sword with two ends of sharpness. In Marathi he spoke, he told people in Marathi in Maharashtra, but in English we can say, he said that education is a sword with two sides with cutting edges. That education, if we get a bad education, the sword of one side will be used for inhumanity or for the wrong, what we are doing it, and the other edge of the sword, if you are getting good knowledge or good education, it will be used for the good of the society or good of the people. So education, both the education we have to take, but we have to choose it, and that is again the wisdom. Choosing the right, understanding the knowledge and choosing is the wisdom. So this kind of thing, taking the knowledge, we have to take both. By telling others are saying, so this knowledge is not good, is not enough. You have to understand yourself. Someone says this book is good, please read it. But you will find that that book is not giving the proper path or proper knowledge to you. But someone says this book is not good, don't read it. But when you read it, you find, oh, this is very good for yourself and also for the society. So it is both the things we have to take the knowledge. But we have to understand which knowledge or which education is right and wrong. And choosing the right one is you are taking with understanding, proper intelligence, and that you are on the path of wisdom. Therefore, while explaining Dhamma, Baba Sahib says, Prajna, Shil, Karuna. The first is by taking knowledge, that is the Buddha. By taking knowledge, you come to wisdom, you have wisdom, and with proper wisdom only you are able to follow the Shil, the precepts. If you don't have wisdom, you have the knowledge that the precepts are good for yourself, but you are not able to follow it because there is no wisdom within you. You take it for granted. So this wisdom will help you to follow the precepts properly. And when you follow the precepts properly, automatically the compassion develops within you. So these three steps becomes the Dhamma. I don't know whether I am going more deep into, because maybe this would be in later chapter 2. So Prajna, Shil, Karuna. Actually I took this here because they are in path of virtues. Prajna is virtue, Shil is virtue, and also Karuna is virtue. they are included in the path of virtue and they are very, very important. So this kind of things we have to understand. And therefore he says this is the another reason of the importance or the necessity of the prajna. It says here, without such knowledge, there cannot be real goodness, though the act may be good. If there is no prajna, no intelligence, no understanding, real good won't come. Your act may be good, but it won't be real. That is why I say prajna is necessary virtue. The Buddha then concluded his sermon by addressing the following admonition to the Parivrajakas. Now here he is warning them. And also making the Parivrajakas cautious about his teachings. What he says, you are likely to call my Dhamma pessimistic because it calls the attention of mankind to the existence of suffering. Yes, many of the people who do not know or understand the Buddha's teaching, they call Buddha pessimistic. Even our Buddhist people, those who know something about Buddha, they follow Buddha's teaching, they are not able to answer this question that no, Buddha is not pessimistic. Or even though if he is pessimistic, what's the reason behind it and why it is necessary? So he's saying here, you may think that my teachings are pessimistic regarding the existence of suffering. I tell you, such a view of my Dhamma would be wrong. He says it's a wrong thinking. My Dhamma is not pessimistic. My Dhamma never talks only on suffering. See, the only word you should use. What he says, his Dhamma never talks only on suffering, but he goes further. And he says, no doubt my Dhamma recognizes the existence of suffering, but forget not that it also lays equal stress on the removal of the suffering. Why he talks on suffering? Because he wanted to remove the suffering. If you don't talk on suffering, then suffering would be there always. And there won't be any peace and happiness in the life. So, to understand the sufferings, he talks on sufferings. He says that you should know that you should accept that you are suffering. There is suffering. You have to understanding, and you have to be very clear and very hopeful that these sufferings can be removed, and that removal is, how to remove is the path shown by the Buddha. So Buddha says it is of equal stress, means equal importance is given to the removal of suffering. He says my Dhamma has in it both hope and purpose. Only suffering, knowing about suffering is not hope. That will lead you to frustration. That may lead you to die. Negativity towards your life. But Dhamma always make you very positive towards how you can live a good and happy life. So he says, Dhamma has both hope and even purpose. You should have a purpose in your life. Without purpose, life is nothing. So there should be hope. There is hope and purpose in Dhamma. Its purpose is to remove avidya, that is ignorance. It says, whatever we do, and if it is evil or wrong, even though if it is a crime, it is due to ignorance. We don't know many things and we do it without knowing it. So it says the ignorance is the real base of all the sufferings. So, this is the thing we have to be very clear, because we don't know how the sufferings are created in our life. As we say, natural sufferings are there, and most of the more than 75% of sufferings are created by ourselves. And that is due to our ignorance, and that we have to avoid. Or if already we had gone through all this, because of ignorance we are suffering, we have to remove it. This is what he says here. So it is coming out of ignorance, and there is hope in it, because it shows the way to put an end to the human suffering. So the purpose he is explaining here, the hope he is explaining here. Now he says, do you agree with this or not? And the Parivrajakas said yes. So he concluded by explaining all the 3 steps of purity through precepts, righteousness through Eightfold Path, and the path of virtue, with a special importance given to the wisdom, that he explains in them again in detail. And then everything is accepted by all the Parivrajakas, saying yes to the Buddha. Okay, so I'm ending here. I thank you very much for listening and giving me time. Now here, Mridula wanted to
Thank you so much,
conclude
Bhante.
it with
Thank you so
Metta.
much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or any